What if broken wheels didn't get thrown out, but turned into tables, lanterns, gardens, and grills? Here at Arkan Aesthetic Studio, we see beauty in what others overlook. And in today's video, we'll explore some of the most inspiring DIY ideas using bicycle and car rims. Designs that don't just recycle, but completely reimagine. Timestamps are in the description. Skip to what moves you. To some, this might be just another DIY video, but behind it is a small family, pouring heart into every frame. We don't have a studio team, just late nights, big dreams, and your support. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it truly matters. You're not just growing a channel, you're helping keep a dream alive. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing us. One, Rustic Bloom Wheel. There's something quietly magical about turning what's forgotten into something that feels alive again. This used to be just an old bicycle rim, once spinning through busy streets. Now it hangs still, like a gentle memory repurposed. With a bit of creativity and care, it becomes a soft, blooming wreath. Soft blush roses rest against the spokes, surrounded by sprigs of faux eucalyptus and tiny whispers of green. No harsh edits, no artificial polish, just honest textures and light, the way our eyes naturally see beauty. The design is simple, and that's the charm. These wheels, once in motion, now hold a new kind of life. They don't carry riders anymore, but they can carry meaning, warmth, and stories. And the best part? You can make this too. Yes, this is not an art that demands perfection or expensive tools. It's an idea, an invitation to look at old things with new eyes, to turn a scrap of metal into a symbol of peace, creativity, and intention. Maybe you have a bicycle rim tucked away somewhere. Maybe you've passed by one at a flea market or a junkyard and never thought twice. But with a little floral wire, a hot glue gun, and a moment of stillness, you can bring that wheel back to life in a way no machine ever could. Each piece shown here was made with that spirit in mind, not as a how-to manual, but as a seed of inspiration. I simply offer you these ideas with the hope that they may grow into your own creative journey. Something you can try on a quiet weekend, or with someone you love. Not everything has to be perfect to be beautiful. Not everything new is better than the old. And sometimes, the most meaningful creations are the ones that carry a little history within them. So here's to giving wheels new purpose, to spinning beauty from rust, to crafting not just decor, but calm and joy and little echoes of poetry for our homes. Two, GearTime Wheel. Sometimes, time doesn't have to be told by a screen or a square. Sometimes, it spins. What you see here is not just a clock. It's a whisper of movement, paused in purpose. A bicycle wheel, once rushing through wind and road, now stands still in a garden, reborn as something quieter, yet no less meaningful. Blue numbers bloom across the rim like petals of precision, evenly spaced and playful. The hands sweep gently across an old gear hub, ticking not just seconds, but the transformation of the forgotten into the beautiful. There is something poetic about crafting timepieces from objects that once raced against it. And no, This isn't some complex sculpture made in a factory or studio. This is something you can make at home. I'm not offering a tutorial, just a thought, an idea, a nudge toward your own hands and what they could do with a little imagination. The tools are simple. The concept is clear. An old bike wheel, a clock mechanism, and numbers, painted, glued, or printed. The result? A wall clock with character. A backyard ornament that sparks a smile. A one-of-a-kind piece you'll never find in a store. And maybe, just maybe, a reminder to slow down. You don't need to be an expert crafter to try this. Just someone who finds joy in giving something a second life. I'm simply sharing these ideas in hopes they find their way into your world in some form. Adapted, reimagined, or made even better through your own creative touch. Let time move in circles. Let it tick through spokes and gears. Let it tell a story, yours. Three, SpinTop Table. Not every piece of furniture begins its life in a catalog. Some begin with a ride, a race, a memory, before they are finally still. These tables carry that story. Once swift bicycle wheels, now anchored into place, repurposed into round stages for coffee mugs, quiet afternoons, or evening talks on the patio. There's a beautiful contrast in that transformation. From motion to stillness, from speed to structure. Each curve you see here was once part of something that rolled forward. But now, bent with intention, they form sculptural legs, curved, organic, almost floral in shape. Some hold clear glass tops, allowing the detail of the spokes beneath to peek through, like veins in a leaf. Others remain open, unfinished, inviting you to imagine what they could become. This is not a tutorial. It's a thought, a gentle suggestion, that maybe the things you no longer ride or use can still carry meaning. If you've ever looked at an old bike rim and wondered what else it could be, you're not alone. These ideas aren't hard to replicate, and they don't demand expert hands. They ask only for a shift in perspective. That's all. A willingness to bend, to weld, or even just to place pieces together and see what forms. I share this as inspiration, not instruction. If you've got access to scrap rims, a bit of time, and some imagination, this is absolutely something you can try, whether for your patio, your shop, or even a cozy corner of your home. And maybe, in the process, you'll find that creating is its own kind of movement. One that doesn't require pedals or pavement, just a bit of heart. Four, CycleRack Hanger. Not all ideas are born in blueprints. Some begin in the soft clatter of a kitchen, the familiar clink of pots and pans, and the quiet question, what if this could be beautiful, too? Here, a bicycle once meant to spin down roads now spins an entirely different story. Suspended beneath a roof of wood and light, it becomes a kitchen companion, humble, clever, and full of charm. Hooks dangle from its spokes like notes on a wind chime, each holding a pan, a ladle, a piece of everyday life. This is the kind of creation that doesn't ask for perfection. It asks only for intention. You don't need to be a metal worker or a carpenter to bring this into your space. With just a chain, a few S-hooks, and a strong enough ceiling beam, this can be yours, crafted by your own hands, guided by your own needs. This isn't a product to buy. It's an idea you're welcome to borrow. I'm simply sharing what worked in my little corner of the world, in hopes it sparks something in yours. There's something grounding about placing usefulness and creativity in the same breath. A reminder that beauty doesn't always come from the store. Sometimes it comes from the shed, the garage, the forgotten wheel in the back of the yard. And when hung above your stove or in an outdoor kitchen, it's more than storage, it's storytelling. It's proof that recycling doesn't always look like a bin. Sometimes, it looks like art. So if you're looking for inspiration that feels practical, accessible, and just a little poetic, maybe this is it. A rim, some hooks, a ceiling, and the will to make something your own. Five, BreezeCycle Chime. Sometimes, it's the softest sounds that carry the deepest stories. Hanging under a pergola, catching the wind like a memory. This wind chime was never meant to be a wind chime. It began as a wheel. A circle of motion, of direction, of journeys taken and returned from. Now, it is still, but not silent. Beneath the rim, old spoons dangle like notes. Bottle caps spin lightly, worn by time and touch. Together, they sing a language only the breeze understands. A clink, a chime, a whisper of something that once moved fast, now made to linger. It's simple, really. A bicycle wheel, a few chains, things that might otherwise be discarded. That's the beauty of upcycling. It doesn't just save materials, it preserves energy, emotion, and meaning. You don't need much to bring this idea to life. A used rim, a few items from your kitchen drawer, maybe some hooks or fishing line. If you've been wanting to create something with your hands, something both beautiful and grounding, this might be the perfect place to begin. This isn't a tutorial, just a shared thought. A breath of inspiration you're welcome to take in and turn into your own version. It may not change the world, but it might change your porch. It might bring a sound to your space that reminds you to slow down, to listen, to feel. And that, I believe, is a kind of magic too. Six, WheelRest Bench. There's a special kind of quiet you find in the garden. It's not just the silence of leaves and breeze. It's the hush that comes from things being in their place. And sometimes, that includes a bench made of old wheels. These bicycle rims once touched the ground to move. Now, they hold still so we can stop. Each bench here is more than just somewhere to sit. It's a story, a piece of reclaimed time and movement turned into rest. The planks are weathered, honest. The cushions are made from burlap sacks that once carried coffee, now carrying comfort. The design might look intricate, but it's surprisingly simple. A few wheels, some reclaimed wood, a little time with a drill and screws, and suddenly you have a seat with character. A bench that doesn't just decorate the space, but becomes part of its soul. And while this isn't a step-by-step guide, I hope it offers something even better. The spark of an idea you can make your own. Something to try over a weekend, with tools already in your shed and a bench already forming in your imagination. This is not about perfect finishings or professional carpentry. It's about letting the materials speak for themselves. Letting the rust and grain tell their part of the story. Letting what was once fast and fleeting become grounded and still. So if you've got old rims lying around, don't toss them. Give them another job. Let them carry rest instead of riders. Let them hold pause, not momentum. And in doing so, let your garden hold not just plants and paths, but stories worth sitting in. Seven, SpinGrow Trellis. In the quiet rhythm of the garden, where time is marked not by clocks but by the growth of leaves and the slow stretch of vines, we find beauty in the unexpected. Once a wheel that carried someone down sunlit roads, now suspended above a bed of green, this humble bicycle rim takes on a new role as a trellis. With gentle threads descending like rays of light, it invites nature to climb skyward. Young bean plants reach for the sun, finding their way along these guides, their tender leaves whispering stories of upward dreams. This kind of project doesn't require perfection, only presence. A few strings, a repurposed rim, and a steady pole are all that's needed to create a structure as functional as it is poetic. Let the vines do the rest. They know what to do. Please note, I'm simply sharing a practical and beautiful idea, something you can truly recreate at home if you feel inspired to. It's less about precision, more about process. Let it be playful. What makes this design especially magical is how accessible it is. The materials are often already within reach. An old bike rim, some twine, a garden stake. No need for fancy tools or elaborate carpentry. Just a bit of imagination and a desire to give something old a new breath of life. There's an earthy satisfaction in guiding something upward, in knowing that what once raced along pavement now lifts food from soil. That, perhaps, is the most poetic form of recycling. So let your garden be a canvas. Let it be messy and curious. Let it be filled with surprises like this one. And maybe, just maybe, you'll look at every discarded object a little differently. Eight, GlowWheel Pendant. In the quiet corners of creativity, where the ordinary becomes unexpected, a simple bicycle rim finds new purpose above our heads, shining light not only into our spaces but into our imaginations. The GlowWheel Pendant is more than just a lamp. It is a story told in steel and filament. Hung beneath a wooden pergola, this bright red wheel, once spinning through city streets or country trails, now cradles a glowing bulb in its center. The bulb's golden hue casts a soft, nostalgic warmth, blending beautifully with the natural grain of the wood above and the green outside. It's not glamorous. It's not polished. But it is real, handmade, and deeply personal. Look closer, and you'll notice how the spokes still whisper of motion, though now perfectly still. The rim's new identity carries the charm of vintage style and the boldness of repurposing. The red, vivid, unapologetic, stands out as both design and declaration. Creativity doesn't require a trip to the store. Sometimes, it's just about looking at what you already have, a little differently. This isn't a tutorial, but an offering. A gentle nudge toward your own workshop or garage, where something forgotten might glow again. I'm not telling you what to build, just sharing a spark of what could be. Take this as an idea, one that you can mold, expand, or completely transform to suit your own corner of the world. In a time where convenience is often chosen over creation, there is something profoundly grounding in crafting something with your own hands. The GlowWheel Pendant doesn't just light up a patio, it brightens the spirit with its ingenuity and heart. So perhaps, with an old rim, a brush of paint, and a little patience, you too can bring something new to life. Not just a light, but a reminder, beauty is not found, it is made. Nine, CycleGrace Console. In the hush of a sunny afternoon, where shadows play gently across a green lawn, an old bicycle finds its second chance, not on a path, but beneath your fingertips. What was once a forgotten frame, its purpose dulled by time, now stands tall as a console table, strong, elegant, and filled with character. 2 or 3 white-painted wheels, standing upright and proud, hold a plank of warmly grained wood like a crown. Soft curls of iron, spiraling like quiet thoughts, are welded between the spokes, giving structure a touch of whimsy and steel a soul. This is not just furniture. This is poetry in metal and timber. It is the story of reinvention told through every weld, every grain, every polished surface. Placed against a garden wall or standing freely on open grass, it doesn't need embellishment. The daylight embraces it just as it is, raw, real, imperfectly beautiful. There are no filters here, only the gentle truth of things made by hand, by heart. And if you're wondering, yes, this can absolutely be made at home. With a little effort, some repurposed materials, and a few hand tools, a piece like this can emerge in your own backyard. I'm simply here to share ideas that are thoughtfully crafted and genuinely doable by anyone who feels called to create. This isn't a promise of perfection, it's an invitation to try. So maybe next time you see an old wheel, pause. Let your imagination sit beside it, quietly. Who knows? It may just be waiting to become something more. BloomCycle Stand. In a quiet corner of a blooming garden, where flowers sway gently beneath the sun's warm gaze, an old bicycle rim begins a second life, not as transport, but as a storyteller. BloomCycle Stand isn't just garden decor. It's an homage to the past, spun anew with grace and creativity. Rusted wheels, once part of a journey down winding roads, now stand proudly upright, cradling vivid red planters. Each one bursts with flowers, petunias, marigolds, daisies, hanging like delicate laughter in the air. Suspended beside them, weather-worn lanterns glimmer faintly with charm, hinting at evenings where fireflies might gather and stories are shared by candlelight. These images are reminders that beauty doesn't need to be bought. It can be rediscovered, reimagined. The ornate black iron arms that hold the planters and lanterns curl like vines of thought, climbing around memories, embracing what once was with what now blooms. Perhaps you have a broken rim in the garage, or a bike too worn to ride. What if, instead of discarding it, you transformed it. Here, I'm simply offering a gentle idea, a seed of inspiration. Something achievable, something real. These designs aren't instructions, but encouragement. An invitation to create, to recycle not just materials, but stories and spirit. Under natural sunlight, these crafted pieces glow not with polish, but with honesty. No filters mask the textures, the rust, the imperfections. And that's the secret. It's their imperfections that make them soulful. May this be the nudge you've been waiting for to breathe new life into forgotten things. Let your garden become not only a place of growth, but of storytelling. Garden Wheel Carousel. In the quiet embrace of a sunlit garden, where the air hums gently with bees and the perfume of blossoms, there stands a wheel, not of fortune, but of flourishing. This is no carnival ride, but a carousel of blooms, made from the salvaged soul of a bicycle. Two great rims, once spinning down long-forgotten roads, now rise vertically in the soft light, holding within their circle a joyful rhythm of life. Each spoke leads the eye to a planter, rich with color, pinks, reds, whites, and golds spilling over like laughter from the past. These rectangular boxes, now the vessels of fresh beginnings, once might have held tools or forgotten things. Today, they cradle pansies, petunias, and cheerful marigolds, spinning a new story for anyone who stops to admire. What makes this idea enchanting is not only its beauty, but its possibility. With a few basic materials, old bicycle wheels, planter boxes, and a stable stand, this garden Ferris wheel can be recreated in your own backyard. It's not just decoration, it's a vertical space saver, a practical delight that brings structure to any patch of green. The goal here is not to instruct with precision, but to spark something in you. These are merely ideas, seeds, if you will, that might bloom into projects of your own. I simply offer this as inspiration, as something that might be possible with a bit of patience, imagination, and the charm of repurposed things. No special lighting, no edits, no glossy finish, just the truth of steel and soil and sunlight. This is creativity grounded in nature, and in the joy of giving forgotten things a second life. And perhaps, somewhere between the spokes and the scent of the flowers, you'll find yourself imagining something beautiful too. Tiny Rider's Wheel. There's a kind of quiet magic that blooms from the most unexpected places, like the soft hum of a breeze turning an old bicycle wheel that has found a new life, not on roads, but in the heart of a sunny room. In this scene, creativity dances in miniature. What was once a forgotten rim, perhaps rusting in a shed or leaning beside a fence, now stands proudly as a handcrafted Ferris wheel. Its frame is steady, its spokes still true, but its purpose transformed, from motion to memory. Hanging from the wheel are tiny metal pails, each carrying a character no taller than your finger, each figure shaded by a bright orange umbrella. They sit still, like passengers in a gentle daydream, waiting for their turn to rise above and take in the view. Some wear smiles carved with care, others appear mid-thought, painted with a story of their own. There is something tender in their stillness, something that whispers nostalgia and quiet wonder. This kind of craft doesn't come with instructions. It comes with a feeling, a playful spirit, a love for small things, a patience that sees beauty in rust and whimsy in weathered metal. And while the execution might look intricate, the idea behind it is simple and joyfully accessible. I share these visuals not as instructions, but as inspiration. These tiny riders are not just made, they're imagined. That is, after all, the spirit of upcycling, breathing new soul into old shapes. If you're inspired, let your hands follow your heart. Use what you have. A wheel, a few cans, toy figures, cocktail umbrellas. None of it needs to be perfect. It only needs to feel right to you. Please remember, I'm simply offering up ideas that are grounded in possibility. Thought starters that, with a little curiosity and time, could be recreated by anyone who wishes to try. In a world that moves fast and forgets often, maybe what we need are more tiny Ferris wheels, more stillness, more room for imagination to sit quietly and spin, and perhaps a few more orange umbrellas. TurboSpin Table. In a quiet corner of a sunlit garage, where echoes of turning wrenches once filled the air, a wheel has found its second life, not to race down asphalt roads, but to hold still and serve a different purpose. What you see is a beautiful pause, a car rim, once the heart of motion, now transformed into a centerpiece of calm utility. Here, a round pane of glass rests gracefully atop a solid alloy wheel, the kind you might expect to see spinning under the chassis of a sports car. But instead of horsepower, it's now holding your morning coffee or perhaps a book left halfway open. The base, cleverly repurposed from a swivel office chair, adds a subtle sense of movement, a nod to its origins in motion, yet grounded in its new role. The aesthetics are sharp and industrial, yet surprisingly warm. The reflective surface of the rim catches daylight like a mirror to memories. The glass top makes it transparent in both form and function, a surface with nothing to hide and plenty to offer. This creation speaks to those who appreciate not just utility, but the poetry of reinvention. It's a reminder that design doesn't always begin in a showroom. It can emerge from a driveway, a workshop, or a corner of your imagination. Please know that what I share here are simply stories and ideas, little seeds of inspiration. If this table speaks to you, you might find it's something you could try crafting yourself. It's all about what feels possible with your own two hands. No fancy edits here, no filters, just raw, honest material and a bit of vision. The charm lies in the contrast, the toughness of metal softened by the clarity of glass. The soul of the highway now resting indoors, quiet but not forgotten. It's not just about making furniture. It's about giving objects a second chance, giving your space a story, and maybe, just maybe, letting yourself imagine what else in your world could be transformed. RimReel Station. In a quiet corner of the garden or nestled beside a humble garage wall, creativity often blooms in the most unexpected ways. And here, with nothing more than a forgotten car rim and a tangle of garden hose, a simple yet striking transformation begins. The RimReel Station is a beautifully unpretentious concept. An alloy car wheel reborn as a hose reel, mounted with care and purpose. In the first image, a sleek silver BMW rim hugs a green hose like it was made for it, while a modern spray nozzle hangs elegantly like an earring on display. It's neat, functional, and infused with a gentle sense of pride. There's no rush, no flash, just a piece of yesterday doing a job today. Just beside a driveway bathed in afternoon sunlight, the second creation spins its charm differently. The wheel, resting between two sturdy wooden posts, is part tool, part sculpture. It doesn't scream for attention, yet it's impossible to ignore. The way the hose winds around it feels intentional, even poetic. And that crank handle? Pure genius. Sometimes, resourcefulness isn't loud, it's quietly brilliant. Finally, against a backdrop of bright orange wall and scattered gravel, the third piece radiates with sun-warmed honesty. The metal rim, a bit worn and weathered, now offers its curves to coil a hose with both function and flair. There's something charming in the contrast, old mechanics meeting new purpose, all under a clear sky and the hum of a tranquil backyard. This isn't about just copying what you see. It's about looking at what you already have a little differently. Perhaps you've passed by an old wool rim in your garage, or maybe you've struggled with a knotted garden hose for too long. With a few tools, some care, and a little vision, pieces like this can come to life. That said, please remember, these ideas are simply here to inspire. I share them as creative possibilities, not as strict blueprints. They're meant to feel doable, real, and grounded in a sense of hands-on satisfaction. What you make of them is entirely your own adventure. Because sometimes, giving something a second life doesn't just change the object, it changes the way we see the world around us. (15) GrillRim Firepit. Sometimes, the humblest objects bear the most surprising potential. A wheel that once roared down long highways, gripping asphalt with purpose, now finds stillness in your backyard, but not silence. It lives again through flame, through smoke, through laughter rising on warm evening air. This is the story of the GrillRim Firepit, an upcycled creation born not just of scrap, but of spirit. In the first glimpse, a deep matte black rim holds a grill plate steady across its surface, flanked by strong angular handles. There's a rawness to the welds, a visible honesty in the lines. Set on interlocking pavers, this piece isn't just functional. It's a quiet testament to handmade ingenuity. The second design is more grounded, seated upon curved metal feet, evoking the legs of an ancient cauldron. The grid above invites the sizzling of seasoned meat or charred vegetables, while beneath, coals whisper their slow stories in crimson heat. It's a vision of rustic elegance, perfect for spontaneous gatherings or late-night marshmallow rituals. And then comes the taller variant, steel rods standing like sentinels around a rim that's now a forge. The grill hovers above the fire chamber, supported by minimal lines yet offering maximum presence. It's dramatic in its simplicity, a bold verticality that hints at both purpose and pride. Each of these fire pits captures not just form, but transformation. From car rim to cooktop, from discard to centerpiece. If you're wondering, yes, these are creations you can absolutely try yourself. I'm not selling a product here, only sharing an idea, one that is deeply doable with basic tools, a bit of caution, and a desire to breathe new life into forgotten things. Repurposing, after all, is more than just recycling. It's storytelling through metal and fire. Let this be your invitation to see the beauty in what's broken and the warmth in what once rolled cold. And there you have it, simple rims, reborn with soul. From garden accents to glowing lights, from playful decor to practical pieces. I hope these upcycled ideas didn't just inspire your hands, but touched your imagination too. If even one of these creations made you pause and smile, then this video has already done its job. And if you're still watching, maybe this wasn't just a random scroll. Maybe you're meant to be here, on this quiet corner of the internet where art, heart, and second chances collide. So if you haven't yet, hit that subscribe button. Not for the algorithm, but for the connection. For every person behind every project. For stories waiting to be told. And forgotten things waiting to be loved again. From my family to yours, thank you. Until next time, stay kind, stay creative, and keep seeing beauty where others don't. This is Arkan Aesthetic Studio, and you are always welcome here.